The air was cool. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves. It was a perfect evening in the woods. Mr. and Mrs. Jerry sat on their porch swing. Their dog, Sparky, lay at their feet. Life was good. The Jerrys had built their lives here. Their home was their sanctuary. They had a small woodworking business. It brought them joy and paid the bills. They were content. Mr. Jerry smiled at his wife. "I wouldn't trade this life for anything," he said. Mrs. Jerry squeezed his hand. "Me neither," she whispered. They were happy. They had each other. What more could they ask for? A sudden orange glow flickered in the distance. Mr. Jerry looked up from his book. "What's that?" he wondered aloud. The orange glow grew larger, brighter. Smoke billowed into the sky. Fear gripped Mr. Jerry's heart. "Fire!" he shouted. The fire spread quickly. Dry leaves and wood fueled its hunger. Flames licked at the night sky. Mr. Jerry grabbed his wife's hand. "We have to go now!" he yelled. They raced out of the house with Sparky. They only had time to grab a few belongings. The fire consumed their home. The Jerrys watched in horror. Their peaceful haven was gone. Tears streamed down Mrs. Jerry's face. Mr. Jerry held her tight. He had no words, only a shared sense of loss. The fire marshal arrived. He was a stern man with a notepad. "We need to determine the cause of the fire," he said. Mr. Jerry cooperated fully. He wanted answers. He needed to make sense of this tragedy. Days turned into weeks. The investigation continued. Finally, the fire marshal called. "We found the cause," he said. "It was a discarded cigarette butt, carelessly tossed into the woods." Mr. Jerry was furious, his peaceful life destroyed by someone's negligence. Anger turned to sadness. Sadness turned to determination. He would rebuild. He would not let this break him. He had his wife. He had his health. He would start again. The fire had taken their home. It had also taken their livelihood. The woodworking shop was gone. The Jerrys were left with nothing but the clothes on their backs. They stayed with friends. They relied on the kindness of strangers. The community rallied around them. People donated clothes, food and money. A local contractor offered to help them rebuild. Slowly, the Jerrys began to piece their lives back together. It was a long road. There were setbacks and tears, but through it all their love for each other never wavered. They rebuilt their home. It wasn't the same, but it was theirs. They started a new business. It was a challenge, but they were determined to succeed. The fire had tested them. It had also made them stronger. They had faced their fears. They had found hope in the ashes. They had discovered the true meaning of resilience.